Welcome back, Digital Seekers. In today's session, we are going to talk about how we have reduced 3 months of onboarding time for our freshers into 3 weeks and make them productive. Also, I'm going to give a pro tip for those who are actually landing on Stack Overflow for their programming related questions or computer science technology related questions. So stay tuned. It is fascinating to understand how our human brains are wired and how we are programmed to learn things faster. If we observe the elderly generation that is out there around the globe, though they haven't used computers in their work time not enough, but still they are able to understand, adapt to the new smart screens, smartphones, and how they are surviving in this digital world. And at the same time, when you're trying to teach how to ride a bicycle to a 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid, and the pace at which they pick is absolutely fabulous. Believe me, riding a bicycle is not so easy. So there need to be a hardwired algorithm in our brain which helps us gyroscopically balance and ride a bicycle. There was a very good experiment conducted by another YouTube channel, Smarter Every Day, and I'm going to provide a link down below specific to the riding bicycle and algorithm and everything. So please go and visit that video. And coming to the riding bicycle, let me just give you an example. My son, when he was 5 years, 6 years old, he was very fascinated of riding a bicycle in-house, in our house itself, and then he used to twist, turn, brake and everything. He likes racing. At the time he was using support wheels. So he was in the first grade. So I thought, let me remove the support wheels and see how quickly he'll learn to balance. And to my surprise, he was able to learn balancing within a matter of 1 hour. You don't believe me when I say this. Yes, he literally learned it in 1 hour. That is how fascinating it will be when you are subjected to some kind of a context and then some kind of situation that you have to learn, then you learn faster. So I've been experimenting this concept over a period of my past 20 years of experience, wherein I've been teaching various experience levels, mostly freshers of different batch sizes. And what I observed is there are 3 key elements for humans to learn faster. First one is context. What is a context? When you watch a movie, we all watch movies, right? So there is always a preamble to the movie. The director gives you a context, he takes you to a situation, whether it is in the past, in the future, in the present, or in a different country altogether. So they actually take you to that situation by giving a preamble. They'll narrate the situation so that they'll take you to the context. Now afterwards, every frame by frame, you're actually living in the roles or characters which the director is portraying in that movie. So you will live in that context, you will learn, you will understand, you will actually experience the whole movie. That is the reason why over a period of multiple years, like even after 20 years per se, you still remember the movie. Given a simple thread to that context or a dialogue in that movie or a scene in that movie, you will start recollecting the entire movie in your mind. Again, you start experiencing it in your mind. So that is how beautiful it is when you learn stuff in a context. That is how impressive and that is how your brain will remember things when it is specific to a context. Let us say you miss the preamble of the movie, and then your brain starts reverse engineering the context based upon the sequence of frames you are seeing in the movie. If your brain is successful in reverse engineering the context and understanding what the context is, then you will enjoy the movie. Otherwise, you will feel bored and then you will feel disconnected from the movie. So that is how important the context is for you to watch a movie and live in it. Now let us move on to the next interesting topic, which is sequence. So there will be deja vu moments in our life. We might all have faced it. Like you are a music lover and you are listening to a new song, and all of a sudden you start predicting the next lyric. The reason is your brain is wired to actually do a prediction based upon the sequence of previous inputs. And you might as well feel in a situation that yes, exactly, I know that is how you're going to behave, that is how you're going to say, that is exact same dialogue I was expecting from you. These are all deja vu moments in our life. We feel we knew it is going to happen. We predict the next sequence or next scene in a movie. The reason is our brain is wired in a way that if it is provided with sequence of inputs, it will start predicting the next one. This is called sequence. And the third important aspect is imagination. So if I give you a blurred image with two kids playing in a park, now for a kid who is 5 years old, 6 years old, if I give the same image, he'll be able to churn out a lot of information in one glance. Like what is the social status of the kids, what is the kind of game they are playing, what is the gender of those two kids, and what kind of clothes they are wearing, and what is the surroundings. He'll capture every single aspect of that image in one single shot. Whereas if I have to teach the same thing to a computer, it takes longer, because it has to understand what is noise and what is real picture. So to train a computer, we have a different approach, because it needs to understand sequence of steps. It has to follow step by step by step by step and then understand. Whereas a human being, given a context, they can actually understand based upon they actually bring in all their wisdom or knowledge at once and try to decipher and then extract as much information as possible. That is the beauty of human brain. And I mean, like, it is saddening to see how we have been taught our first programming language. I mean, I have learned in my engineering when I was taught how to do a Fibonacci series, a palindrome, prime number program. I already know those concepts. I'm in my graduation. So I learned those concepts in my childhood. So what is the point in relearning them? Now I am trying to learn them so that I know how I can teach a computer to do that. Is it really what we do in our real life? I never did a palindrome program in my 20 years of career. So what is the point in teaching me how to do a palindrome? Give me more contextual programming. Teaching of programming languages to individuals should be more context driven rather than giving them some sequence of steps as if you are teaching a computer. So write an import statement and then a main function, and then this is what main function is, and then these are what variables are. I know already integers, floating variables, real numbers, rational numbers and all that. So why the hell I need to know how, what are they to actually start understanding programming? A starting point for me should be a very deep, then I will extrapolate and then understand. Give me a context. Don't give me all that basics. You don't need basics to understand. That is how humans are wired. So we are wired to understand context and then capture more information at once. And this is what I'm actually experimenting in my recent series, wherein I'm teaching programming to kids. And so far I'm quite happy that my son was able to pick up quite well on if-else conditions, while loops and operators. He was able to understand quite well. I didn't start with Kunio.h and then I didn't tell him who has invented C and all that. I mean, you don't need to know all of that to actually learn a programming language. You didn't learn who has invented your mother tongue to speaking in your mother tongue, right? So when you're a toddler, you started picking up words, you started picking up sentences, you started picking up what is the future tense, present tense and past tense. Your adults around you are started correcting you whenever you did a mistake. And that is how you learned your first language. Remember that. And that is how, if we teach the first programming language to any human being, it will be quite easier for them to understand. They can understand complex situations rather than simplest ones. So subsequently, once you learned one language, learning the other language is learning the vocabulary and grammar. That's it, right? So similarly, once you know one programming language, Learning another programming language is learning that programming language vocabulary and syntax. That's it. So more or less the concepts remain same. You are again teaching the same computer but in a different language, which is okay. You are conversing with humans in a different language. That is how you are conversing with a computer in different language. So that is the reason why I am always saying, teaching programming to human beings should be started at a different stage, different level. I don't want to teach you a hello world program. So what is in it for you to learn? To print something? And a for loop with I is equal to 0, I is less than 10 and then I plus plus and print hello world. You are printing 10 times hello world. Is that what you are going to do in your real life? There is no point. I don't need to teach you how to write a print statement, how to write a for loop using just these random variables. If I give you a very specific context, playing a game, and then how a game will continue until somebody has won at the game, the loop will continue. Similarly, until the condition failed, the loop will continue. So if we give a context and then teach them a concept, it will be very easy for people to really understand, correlate, and then quickly learn, and they'll remember it for their life. They'll be able to know how to use it when the situation comes. Just like giving a simple hint of the movie, a dialogue of the movie, a scene of the movie, you're able to recollect the entire movie sequence. By giving a simple thread to that particular concept, you'll be able to recollect the entire concept and then correlate and then apply. This might be sounding too much, but this is how we have reduced our onboarding time for our freshers in our organization. When we recruit freshers into our organization, we give them hardly 3 weeks time to cope up, to learn new technology altogether and start delivering. They'll learn piece by piece, they start delivering. So all we have to do is bring the human being to their peak learning potential, leave them there and give them a reason to learn. So once you give them a reason to learn at that stage, they keep learning forever. So this is what I believe in, and then I have been experimenting and been seeing success. For past 3 years, I have been experimenting on this specific topic, and we are seeing very good results in onboarding process. Now let us talk about the pro tip that I have talked about in the beginning. Let us say you are searching for some specific question in Google and you found a link for Stack Overflow and you landed in Stack Overflow. So what you do, you read the question and then the question is related to you, exactly the same situation you are facing. You simply jump onto the answer wherein a green tick mark is there, accepted answer. You read the answer that is going to solve your problem, you're damn sure about it. You go and then implement the solution. But stop here. You have a very good reason to learn the entire concept here. You have a context. You have a reason for searching that particular question. You went into the question. Now you have a context. So now try to learn everything around that concept. Because it is not just the person who has asked a question. There will be people who will be commenting on his question. That means those are the things which you might need to think about when you are getting that kind of a question. Read them, understand and question yourself whether you have really thought in that direction. Not just the tick mark, but also read the comments on that particular answer. Because there might be other smart people out there who would have identified issues in the solution, or they have some enhancement to that solution. Read that and also give an emphasis to the time at which the answer was given, because most of the answers are time bound, relevant only during that period. Then you read all the other answers out there for that question, because given that context, how different people have reacted, different people have understood, different people have tried to answer that situation. They might be correct, they might be wrong, it doesn't matter. But learning the entire concept in that context is going to help you to learn that concept much deeper. So don't lose the context that you already have. You have a context, you landed on a Stack Overflow question, read the entire thread, including the comments. There won't be any hate speech on Stack Overflow. There will be mostly knowledgeable questions, answers, and comments. So it is really very interesting to learn from the others' experience and trying to understand what are the different possible directions in which you can think. Hope I was able to give you some context and interesting aspects of learning, and I wish you all a happy learning and great learning experiences going forward. So these are the three key concepts related to human learning I have been experimenting with all along: context, sequence, and imagination. And I've been seeing great success when it comes to freshers onboarding in our organization, or when it comes to teaching programming to kids, which is a recent series I started in this channel. If you have kids or if you know kids who are actually interested in learning programming, please feel free to share this channel with them so that they get benefited. Also, it is not just for the kids. Anybody who is willing to learn programming, I think the series is going to be useful for them. Because we start with a context, we learn concepts, and then we learn programming, and finally I'll try to teach them how to write their own Android application at the end. If you find any improvement needs in the concept I have narrated so far, please feel free to comment down below. I'm very eager to learn from your experiences. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and please do subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified for all our future videos. Have fun time learning. Take care. Bye bye.